Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Naruto had a solo leveling part 1. Before I start, please do support for more awesome content and subscribe my channel and like this video and also share this video with your friends. I have created my other videos playlist, there you can watch my all videos easily, check out as well. Let's start this video. Uzumaki Naruto yawned as he rose up from his bed and shook the cobwebs from his head. The blonde proceeded to wipe the crud from his eyes, waddled his way to the bathroom to take a shower, and brush his teeth like clockwork. Soon after finishing, Naruto picked up his clothes that consisted of a small white t-shirt, underwear, and a pair of orange shorts. The young boy put them on and began making a simple breakfast before wondering what he should do today. The day was Saturday and therefore meant that he didn't have school. It also meant he got to sleep in, which was always welcomed. Having just turned 13 today, Naruto realized it would be a day he knew that many would avoid him like the plague more so than usual. Being 13 also meant that Naruto was in his final year in the ninja academy. When Naruto first thought of joining the academy and becoming a ninja, like most others, he thought he'd be learning awesome jutsu and going on missions to save damsels in distress or save the country from an evil ninja. Such thoughts and hopes went flying out the window after the first week, and it only got worse from there as the years rolled by. Naruto, like most orphans before him, had been taught to read and write along with other basic needs to properly integrate into society. However, thanks to his hyperactive nature, it took the academy student longer to learn and perform such tasks and skills properly than most orphans. Because of said hyperactivity among a few other things, really Naruto hated standing still and often skipped class to do some physical activity. Because of this, he was considered by most as a shoo-in for the title of dead last when it was time to graduate. Both his peers and the teaching faculty itself thought this. However, some doubted he would be able to graduate or become a ninja at all, but if one were to ask Naruto, he'd say he was the best ninja in the academy in a heartbeat. "Raymond, I love you, but why must you take 3 minutes to make it?" The young boy whined as he impatiently stood in front of the microwave, sipping on his milk carton as he did even though it tasted a little sour. Ramen has always been Naruto's favorite food for a few reasons. It tasted good, it was cheap and affordable, it was easy to make, he could eat it in several flavors, and it could be eaten for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The only thing he hated about it was the 3 minutes it took to make it. Regardless of this, and if he was honest with himself, one might add Naruto did wonder what it would be like to try new dishes once in a while. He loved ramen, no doubt about it, but variety was nice too unless it involved veggies, then forget about it. Stupid merchants, Naruto grumbled. Truthfully, one of the only reasons Naruto ate mostly ramen, other than his love for it, was the fact that many of the merchants in Konoha either wouldn't sell anything to him or try to sell to him at a higher price. Ramen was cheap and affordable and was often sold in large bulk compared to other healthier foods. Luckily for Naruto, some stores had friendly employees that sold him what he needed at a fair price. The only problem was that in most cases some would end up being fired and the cycle would start all over again. It was from one of these stores that Naruto found one of the only few pleasures in life that he could afford. Video games. Video games were still relatively new in this day and age, having only really started getting attention for the last decade and a half, but they were fun to play nonetheless. The most awesome of which, in Naruto's mind, were RPGs, as it allowed the player to become anyone. Currently Naruto only had 4 of them, mostly older editions as they were cheaper, all from 2 guys called Akira Toriyama and Yuji Horii. Video games were popular mostly to civilians and some of the younger ninja in the elemental countries. Reasons being that civilians had it much easier than ninja and could afford such leisurely pastimes. Ninja not as much, as once an academy student graduated and became a genin, they had little time to relax. Even then, during those brief times of rest, they were often used for training or socializing with friends and family they might not see again. Naruto, sad as it was to say, had little to no friends. Sure, he hung out with a few of his classmates such as Shikamaru, Choji by proxy of the former, and Kiba when they skipped class, but other than that, video games were the only things he could call friends at the moment. Ding. Finally. Naruto whopped as he took out his cup of ramen and began to devour the food like a ravenous wolf once it cooled down a bit, taking sips from his milk in between. However, just when he was finished did Naruto's stomach start to growl and protest. But the Naruto had little time to think before he felt a gut-punching feeling in his stomach. Looking at the milk carton still in his hand, Naruto's eyes bulged as he found the culprit of his dilemma. Expiration date September 30th, that's almost 2 weeks ago. Naruto shouted, groaned before he shuffled as fast as he could to the bathroom, hoping to make it to the toilet seat in time. Stupid asshole merchants. Naruto groaned uncomfortably, it wasn't the first time that someone sold him expired food. Though in hindsight Naruto knew he should have read the expiration date first. A couple of hours passed as Naruto's body purged itself from the expired milk before he felt capable of leaving the toilet. Oh, God, that was hell. Naruto gasped as he poured water into the sink to wipe his face with. Finally Naruto grabbed a towel and wiped his face dry before he saw an unusual sight in the mirror. Eh? Naruto blinked in confusion. In the mirror above his head in blue letters was the oddest thing in the world. Uzumaki Naruto, Academy Student, LV5. Naruto drawled, now the milk is screwing with my mind, he nodded, thinking it was just a combination of his mind screwing with him and the expired milk. Next thing you know I'll have my own status window, he chuckled though it didn't last long. Status window. Name, Uzumaki Naruto. Job, Academy Student. Level, 5 next level. 352,800. HP, 1925. CP, 3275. STR, 9. DIT, 57. End, 81. Dex, 16. Int, 11. Wis, 8. Ta, 6. Luck, F, 15. Specialization, NA. Special perks. Gamer. Allows you to view and live your life as though it were a video game. Additional plus 5 VIT and plus 7.5 N per LV, plus 250 CP per LVL, plus 25% additionally XP towards power type fighting styles, plus 50% increase towards HP regen and CP regen, plus 50% tolerance towards poison debuff, minus 25% EXP and effectiveness towards chakra control skills. Minus 25% reputation gain towards Konoha populace whose relationship with you is abhorred, hostile or disliked. Unknown blessing. Your luck is immeasurable. Don't be fooled as it can go either at random. Perks buffs. Additional plus 5 VIT and plus 7.5 N per LV, plus 100 HP per LV, plus 25% additionally XP and effectiveness towards Fuinjutsu skill, minus 15% EXP and effectiveness towards chakra control skills. Titles, Pranked King. Additional plus 1 dex per LV, plus 25% additionally XP and effectiveness towards stealth skill and trap skill, minus 25% reputation gain towards pranked for 24 hours. Academy Ninja. Plus 10% additionally XP gains towards quests and enemies slain, only for character level up. Flaws debuffs. Malnourished, hampered physical growth rate, minus 25% to VIT, Dex, and STR stat base, minus 25% tolerance towards poison debuff, can be removed. Description: Uzumaki Naruto's background is shrouded in mystery. Currently an academy student with aspirations to become Hokage, Naruto has a long and difficult journey ahead of him before he can attain his dream. At the moment many consider Naruto as a shoe-in for the title of Dead Last. Money: 6,500, Ryo, $650. Attribute points: 17. Naruto's mouth was agape in disbelief as he saw the status window. Before he could begin to freak out, Naruto suddenly found himself calming down and thinking logically. Okay, that just happened. What's the hell's going on? And why the hell are my stats so low? Do you wish to view the help guide? Yes, no. Okay, I've had enough of this crap. It was funny at first, but now it's just plain creepy. Kai, release. Okay, now time to— oh, you're freaking kidding me, Kai. The concept of trying to get out of Genjutsu was still fairly new to him, to the whole class. Really, except those from clans, having only just learned about it 9 days ago. So when the illusion hadn't gone away the first time, Naruto had simply attempted it once more with more power than before. The hell? Kai. Naruto grunted out. Do you wish to view the help guide? Yes, no. Naruto cocked an eyebrow as a blue box suddenly appeared before him once more. Naruto was seriously starting to doubt this was a Genjutsu. Sure, Iruka-sensei had said something about some being very elaborate and difficult to get out of, but even this was pushing it. Who the hell would make a video game Genjutsu? Now that I think about it, Iruka-sensei did say that Genjutsu were meant to harm or 6 arg, attack your brain, and make you feel bad, or whatever. It was about one of the only things he really learned in that class, as he along with a few others had fallen asleep during the lecture. As far as he could tell, the Genjutsu wasn't hurting him or making him relive bad memories like they were supposed to. Looking back up at the message that still floated in the air, Naruto cocked an eyebrow. What is this anyway, an RPG? He wondered out loud before he answered, yes. Naruto said after a moment's hesitation, thinking it might trigger something bad, before the screen shined and flickered out of existence, only to be replaced with another that revealed more information. Moke not a Genjutsu. Alright, says here everything is activated by voice and touch command. That's convenient, Naruto mused as he continued browsing the help guide, his hesitation and caution slowly going away. Okay, let's take her for a test spin, he grinned, skill list window open. Skill list window. Passive skills. Gamer's mind, LV Max allows the user to calmly and logically think things through. Allows a peaceful state of mind. Grants hold an immunity to psychological status. Strong and powerful genjutsu being the exception depending on the caster and the gamer's level and skill. Gamer's body, LV Max grants a body that allows for the user to live the real world like a game. HP and CP are fully recovered after sleeping. Passive active skills. Basic Academy Taijutsu D rank. LV 7. 63% to next level mastering speed. D8 basic form of martial arts that teaches one how to kick, block, and punch properly. Increases strength by 5% during combat. Active skills. Naisho, stealth. LV 18. 89% to next level mastering speed. D an essential but basic skill for all shinobi that allows the user the ability to move around undetected. Hint. Combine this with other techniques to greatly improve your stealth. In addition, those with greater levels, senses or possess certain skills then you will be unaffected by your efforts. Increases undetectability effectiveness by an additional 18% when active. Increases critical hits damage and chance by 18% when active. Increases pickpocketing effectiveness by an additional 18% when active. Increases infiltration lockpicking effectiveness by an additional 18% when active. You have a 68% chance of being undetected by those of your level. Percentage will generally increase when used near lower level foes and decrease near higher level foes. Other factors come into play. Henge Transformation D rank. LVMAX basic technique that allows one to transform themselves into other objects, people, or creatures. Uses 20 CP per minute. Increases stealth skill effectiveness by 20% when active. Increases bluffing skill effectiveness by 20% when active. You have a 75% chance of being undetected by those of your level. Percentage will generally increase when used near lower level foes and decrease near higher level foes. Other factors come into play. Power ME, replacement E rank. Max LVA basic but useful technique nonetheless that allows the user to avoid harm by replacing themselves with other objects. CP usage depends on substitute object size, range, and chakra. Increases evasion by 20% for 10 seconds when activated. Increases movement speed by 10% for 10 seconds when activated. Basic Shuriken Jutsu and Kunai Jutsu, basic Shuriken techniques and Kunai techniques D rank. LV 9. 53% to next level mastering speed. AA basic and essential skill that all ninja should know if they wish to call themselves true ninja. This skill allows the user to properly wield and throw both shuriken and kunai during and outside of combat. While most ninja master only the basic forms of these aspects, some clans or ninja are known to utilize more advanced forms. Increases power of shuriken and kunai by 9% during combat. Increases accuracy when thrown during combat by 29%. Increases accuracy when thrown outside of combat by 59%. Basic cooking, LV 4. 47% to next level mastering speed. The ability on how to cook meals and how good it turns out. Current level only allows you to make simple meals such as instant ramen, boiled rice or eggs. Hint, some meals can only be made when using a recipe or having watched someone teach you how to cook it. Increases cooking speed by 4%, instant meals aren't affected. Increases success of creating a new non-recipe dish by 54%. Cool, Naruto couldn't help but admire it all. Gamer's mind and gamer's body guess, that explains why I started thinking straight instead of having a meltdown. Still weird as hell, though that I'm able to view the world like it's a video game. Wonder if it's a bloodline limit or something. That last comment made him think. Part of him wondered if he should go and see Hokage Jiji to see if he could help with this. However, the other part wanted him to keep it a secret. It wasn't as if he could prove it, and knowing the old man, he would have someone keep an eye on him to make sure he was alright. As much as the old man liked him, telling him he had a video game-based bloodline limit would force the Sandaime to potentially have to take drastic measures. We wouldn't want to, but what choice would he have if he said something this crazy? Without proof to show it was best he kept it a secret till he found a way. Sure, pranks were one thing, but claiming you had a video bloodline limit was very different. I should keep this on the down low till I figure this out. Naruto had no intention of potentially spending his life in a nut house. Or thinking things through in a rational manner. Your WIS and int have gone up by 1. I can increase my stats by doing stuff like that. Sweet. Naruto whooped. Okay, let's see what else I can do to bring my stats up. Chakra Enhancement Training. The training method that increases your chakra, control, and potency of chakra-based techniques. Physical Enhancement Training. The training method that increases your physical capabilities and physical-based techniques. Mental enhancement training, a training method that increases your mental faculties. Okay, makes sense, Naruto nodded. It was pretty straightforward as far as explanations went, unlike Iruka-sensei's lectures. Okay, so what do attributes do for me? Attributes open. He had an idea already, but wanted to be certain. Attributes. Your attributes determine your strengths and weaknesses. Currently there are 7 attributes. The most common way for your stats to increase is by leveling up. Doing this increases them by a small margin, but each level decreases the rate of stat gain. Another way to increase your attributes is by training or performing certain tasks. An example would be physical training, which depending on what is being done, will increase your vitality, dexterity, and strength. Important special note. Furthermore, when you've increased an attribute by 150 points you gain a perk that as time passes will increase even further for every 150 points. This perk can also be temporarily increased even more through certain skills that enhance a specific attribute. Be forewarned, if a single attribute exceeds the vid attribute by more than 2.5 times its amount, it will begin to have a negative effect on the body. This can usually be rectified, or at least, be managed by increasing your vid attributes, not always though depending on circumstances. Strength, STR, the strength attribute determines the person's overall physical power. This attribute affects the amount of damage a person can inflict on another with martial arts, bladed, or blunt objects. It also affects a person's ability to reduce damage when blocking and affects the amount of weight they can lift or throw. It's very important when one's fighting style focuses on using heavy weapons or brute force. 20 END and 20 STR and 20 VIT equals 1 defense. Vitality, VIT. The vitality, also known as the vigor attribute, determines the person's overall health. This attribute also affects a person's ability to regain health in and outside of combat and resist special types of damage from things such as poison, bleeding, paralysis, burns, etc. 1 vid equals 25 HP. 1 vid equals 0.5 HP regen per minute outside of combat. 1 vid equals 0.25 HP regen per minute during combat. 20 END and 20 STR and 20 vid equals 1 defense. Endurance, END. The endurance attribute determines a person's overall stamina chakra, which affects how long they can fight or perform some form of activity, and the potency of most chakra-based skills. Similar to vitality and strength, this attribute also plays a role in the person's health by increasing their natural defense when not armored and when blocking an attack by assuring the blocker's poise doesn't break. 1 END equals 25 CP. 1 END equals 0.5 CP regen per minute outside of combat. 1 END equals 0.25 CP regen per minute during combat. 20 END and 20 STR and 20 VIT equals 1 defense. Dexterity, Dex. The dexterity attribute determines the person's overall movement. This attribute affects a person's accuracy, evasion, speed, and ability to land critical strikes on an opponent in close, mid, and long-range combat. Dexterity also plays a major role in pickpocketing, stealth, use of weaponry, and the ability to dual-wielding weapons properly. Intelligence, INT. The intelligence attribute determines the person's overall ability to think quickly, to learn, memorize, retain information, and determines how smart they are. This attribute affects one's ability to properly control and mold their chakra. It also enables one to perform a technique with the smallest amount of chakra necessary while still achieving the desired results. Much like wisdom, intelligence also affects one's ability to learn and develop certain skills such as ninjutsu and medical ninjutsu, along with successfully enabling new variations of certain techniques to be created as well as defending from mental attacks. Wisdom, WIS. The wisdom attribute determines the person's common sense, innovation, and perception. Wisdom, along with intelligence, also plays an important role in learning certain skills such as trap making and fuinjutsu, along with successfully enabling new variations of certain techniques to be created. More importantly, it affects how resistant they are to damage from mental-based techniques. Charisma, Cha. The charisma attribute determines a character's force of personality, persuasiveness, personal magnetism, ability to lead, and their attractiveness. The charisma attributes play a role in certain skills and techniques such as those involving mind control, intimidation, bargaining, and even plain old lying. In addition, charisma, much like wisdom, also plays a role in allowing you to detect skills that affect you mentally and allow you an easier time to detect when someone is lying or telling the truth. Luck. The luck attribute determines the person's overall chance. Luck is unique compared to all the other attributes, as it is capable of influencing anything from finding or looting random items of various rarity, winning money while gambling, to encounters. And even playing a role in landing critical hits. A little different than what I expected. Yosh. Let's take this for a test drive, Naruto nodded before heading out the door. carefully and silently leaving the building so as to not disturb the old man who ran the place. He was a decent guy, if somewhat cranky, but hated it when people made loud noises. More than once he kicked out a few people for that fact alone. Naruto had almost gotten himself kicked out too, but guessed that the fact that he was an orphan and was close to the Sandaime had left him off with a warning instead. Even then the man kept a watchful eye on him. "Senile old fart," Naruto muttered. "I heard that, brat," the old man shouted from his room, causing Naruto to flee like a bat out of hell. "How the freaking hell does he bloody do that, Dadabeo?" The old man's hearing never ceased to amaze and scare him. Naruto guessed the man either had wires all over the place or he was an ex-ninja. He wouldn't doubt it if it was both. "Okay, let's see if anything interesting happens," Naruto muttered to himself before spotting a couple of familiar individuals. "What the? Nara Shikamaru, Nara Air, LV7. Akamichi Chouji, Akamichi Air, LV7. Come on, Shikamaru. They're serving at half price for today only." Chouji spoke in between the chips he ate about his favorite eating spot. "Troublesome," Shikamaru sighed. "You do know they open at 11:30, right? It's still only 10:56. "Yeah, but I heard some of my family are going to be there and I want to be first in line before they do," Chouji countered and began to drag Shikamaru, who barely or didn't bother to resist being pulled, to the restaurant. When it came to Akamichi and their love of food, nothing stood in their way unless they wanted to be missing a limb or two. "Okay, so it's not just me who has a floating text box above their head. Guess it's not a genjutsu," Naruto told himself. Even if it was, it wasn't doing anything to warm him, so why bother fighting it? Walking around the village, Naruto continued to observe the villagers. From what he saw, most of the civilians had levels ranging from 5 to 15 at best, while ninja, with the exception of academy students, were a heck of a lot higher. From what he saw, most of the chunin had levels of 25 and higher. Unfortunately, as his level was still in the lowest tier, he couldn't see anything that was 25 levels higher than his own. People he knew that were Takebetsu Jonin had question marks, while Jonin also had a question mark. Some Jonin he saw had a golden leaf background on their names, and others had skulls. "I guess the question mark means my level's too low and their level's too high to see. Golden leaf means they're elites, I think," Naruto pondered. He had seen this before during his video games and guessed the same concept applied here. Question marks instead of a number meant the level was out of his league, while the background or symbols around the name meant they were not only high-level individuals, not always, but much stronger than those with the same level. Those with skulls or X meant they were at least 50 or 60 levels higher than his own. In short, it meant don't screw with those guys until you were at least close to their level or had a large and skilled enough group to help you. Congratulations. A special skill has been created through a special act. Through continuous observation of others in order to find out more about them, the passive active ability. OBSERVE has been created. Really? Yada, Dadabeo. Naruto cheered suddenly, much to the confusion of some onlookers and much to his embarrassment when he realized he made a fool of himself in front of a crowd. Note to self, be more discreet, Naruto thought as he left for a more secluded area of Konoha. Okay, let's see what we got here. Open skill list. Here we go. Observe, LV1. 79% to next level mastering speed. This skill allows the user to see the target's max HP, max CP. Basic, simple, and useful, Naruto noted. Looking around to see if there was anything he could use this ability on, the young blonde spotted a small creature. Here goes nothing. Observe. Brown rabbit forest creature, LV1. North Carolina. North Carolina? What's that? Naruto had never heard of the term or seen it in video games before. Though he didn't have to wait long before his answer popped up. North Carolina non-combatant. NCs are creatures or individuals with no fighting skill or little worth. As such, they will not offer you any experience points and serve little purpose other than dropping useful items such as meat or fur that can be used or sold. Doing this to North Carolina civilians, however, will have serious consequences. Well, there goes that grinding idea, Naruto grumbled at the loss of easily leveling up. Sure, the meat and fur sounded good, it would give him something else to eat and potentially bring in extra cash if he managed to find someone to buy them off him. But what was the point if you weren't going to get any experience points out of it? Crap, I also have to learn how to cook rabbit meat. Naruto wasn't the sharpest kunai in the pouch, but even he knew that meat from different animals was not supposed to be cooked the same way. He recalled Am and Tucci saying one technically could, but it wouldn't taste anywhere as good, or you'd get very sick. Forget it. I don't have time to waste learning how to cook that stuff. He had a hard time learning about what was going on in the academy. He didn't need the extra hassle. Okay, let's what else I can do this on, Naruto thought just as he spotted the perfect candidate. Observe. Imi no Iruka, Ninja Academy Teacher, LV29. HP, 2200 CP, 1525. Observe skill has leveled up. You can now see more information and can use this on inanimate objects. So it levels up the more I use it. Let's see it now, he spoke softly as he opened his skill list once more. Observe. LV2. 53% to next level mastering speed. This skill allows the user to see the target's max HP, max CP, and some information. Can now also be used on items such as weapons and armor. The more you level up, the more information you can see. Individuals with huge levels gaps will have a question mark instead of a number. This will only go away when you have gained a decent amount of level or have increased this skill. Some powerful skills, however, can fool the technique. So it lets me see more info now. That's useful. Observing, Naruto whispered as he looked at Iruka once more. Imi no Iruka Ninja Academy Teacher LV29. HP, 2200 CP, 1525. Description: Imi no Iruka is a dedicated Ninja Academy instructor who hopes to pass on his wisdom to the next generation of ninja. He is also known as one of the only chunin in Konoha who can catch Uzumaki Naruto through, as of yet unknown means. Naruto's eyes began to twitch as he read that last part of the description. Though he didn't like to admit it, it was true really. Most of the time, when he pulled a prank, the ninja who were sent to retrieve him were chunin, which he more often than not managed to escape from. Sometimes the occasional jonin would be sent, which he learned early on meant he was screwed. He could trick or evade the odd one, but it was always brief, but whenever Iruka was sent his tactics didn't really work that well. How the hell does he do it? Naruto wondered. Quest alert. How does he bloody do it? Main quest, learn how Imi no Iruka manages to catch you every time you've pulled a prank. Side quest. Don't let Iruka figure out what you're doing. Main quest completion, 250 exp. Side quest completion. 100 exp. Failure, 50 exp. Accept. Yes, no. Sounds good, but I'd better look more into this. Help guide, Naruto called out before locating what he was looking for. Just because it was similar to how video game quests did it didn't mean it followed the same rules. For not rushing to complete a quest and thinking things through, your whiz has increased by 1. Sweet. Quests. Quests, sometimes called missions, are tasks given to players by others or appear spontaneously. Completing a quest or mission will result in rewards such as experience points, items, and money. Most quests can be accepted or declined while others are mandatory and must be completed in order to proceed. Sometimes a side quest will be given alongside the main one, these are purely optional, but completing them gives a boost of rewards such as experience, money, items, etc. Some quests will allow you an unlimited amount of time to complete it, while others need to be completed before a specific time and/or day or risk quest failure. The variation of a side quest known as hidden objectives will sometimes be posted. What these objectives are you need to figure out on your own, but the rewards are generally greater than side quests in the long run. Completion of quests also boosts one's reputation with the affiliated village, person, or faction by a certain amount, though sometimes it can decrease the reputation of something else such as an enemy village. Depending on the quest, failure to complete it can result in penalties such as no rewards, negative reputation gain, lower experience points gained, the crippling injury status, or even death. Thinking nothing of it, Naruto pressed on the yes button to accept the quest. The quests were pretty much the same as the video games he had. Though the hidden quest was somewhat new, still the extra rewards and exp were fine in his books. Naruto also considered himself lucky really. This wasn't the first time he had spied on Iruka-sensei before. Iruka himself had fallen victim to a few of his pranks in the past, with the only times he ever did get caught by the man was when he was actively looking for him after a prank, otherwise he was almost invisible to him. Seeing him leave the store he was currently in, Naruto began following the academy instructor from a good distance. Not too close that it would arouse suspicion, but not too far that he would lose his sight in the crowd, or if he made a turn somewhere he could not see him. Seeing him enter another store, one where he wasn't exactly welcomed, Naruto decided to wait for him outside before he continued his quest. Might as well see what else this guidebook has in it. Finding an empty bench, Naruto whispered the voice command and proceeded to look through the guidebook for anything interesting. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Inventory. Inventory box. The inventory box, a personal space-time technique, is where the items you are currently holding go to when not in use. This allows you to store a near infinite amount of items without having to carry them on your person and hamper your movement with the excess weight. To place an item inside, just press it on the screen and vice versa when you want to pull it out. Any items placed inside the inventory box will go into a state of stasis, so weapons and armor won't rust and food will never go bad even if it remains there for years. Special note. Certain things cannot be placed in the inventory box such as a campfire or living beings. Corpses, however, can be. That makes things easy, Naruto thought before moving on. The idea of not having to carry everything on him yet have everything he needed when he wanted it was a great thing to have. The never going bad aspect was a big bonus, too. Though part of him thought it was a bit of overkill and unfair to others, Naruto immediately squashed that thought. He was a ninja and training, damn it. Their whole lifestyle was about being unfair, fighting dirty, and not caring if they cheated. They weren't training to be samurai. Shaking that thought from his mind, Naruto looked at what else there was before he called it item quality. Item quality. Simply put, item quality is a relative indicator of how good an item is compared to another. The quality indicator is most often seen with a rank beside the name of the item. There are 7 types of item qualities in the world, which are ranked from poor to legendary. Note, the higher the quality the greater the requirements needed to use it properly before being able to master it, not in all cases, however. Poor quality. Items that are considered the worst of the worst and barely even worth using, seen as junk by many. Such items are made of shady materials, poor craftsmanship, have rusted over, or been worn down so badly that it can no longer be used properly. Items of this quality be recycled for parts to make better items, but don't expect much. Common quality. These are common items of decent quality that many use every day. Most items that fit into this category are basic kunai, shuriken, and some other forms of weaponry and armor. Uncommon quality. These are the uncommon items, not everyone has them, but have frequent enough usage. Most items that fit into this category are sealing scrolls, weaponry, and items that can be used for making other things such as clothing, medicine or weapons. Rare quality. Items of this quality are either somewhat difficult or expensive to come by. Most usually grant an ability or a great attribute booster for the user, or are made from materials that are difficult to acquire or buy, or require a great level of skill to create. Very rare quality. These items are considered the rarest of the rare. Items of this quality are incredibly difficult to come by and create, though not considered one of a kind, they are generally very limited in supply. Such items contain higher forms of enchantments that few to none can replicate or capabilities only the highly gifted can accomplish. Epic quality. Items that are a second to none except when compared to legendary quality items. Items of this quality are few and in between as the methods of creating them are either a closely guarded secret or their ingredients are held under lock and key, come from very dangerous or incredibly rare and elusive creatures, or the materials are situated in extremely dangerous locations few dare to tread. Legendary quality. These unique items are considered legendary in terms of power and one-of-a-kind ability they possess, or are capable of granting individuals or other items, many of these being one-of-a-kind. Chances of coming across items of this quality are 1 million to 1, and only those with incredible levels of luck are said to be able to find these. If you own one, many will call you a lucky bastard, while others will try to kill you for it. Items that are considered to fall under this category are masterpieces or items used by legendary and ancient craftsmen or figures such as the Rakuto Sennin, Gormnik Masamune, Uchiha Madara, Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobirama, Sarutobi Sasuke, etc. Some, but not all, of these items possess sentience and will only allow specific individuals to wield or summon them. Let's see, Naruto thought as he took out a spare kunai from his pocket he had taken from the academy. Observe. Academy kunai poor quality. The poor excuse for a kunai. The weight and sharpness of the kunai leaves much to be desired. The blade is so dull that piercing or cutting something with it will be very difficult, while the uneven weight of it lowers your chances of hitting your target. Attack power, 2 to 4. Claw debuff. Minus 20% accuracy when thrown. The hell? Naruto shouted and cursed himself as he did, before vacating his spot and jumped onto the roof of the store to hide. No sooner did he leave, did Iruka come out of the store, and from the way his head was moving in every direction, did Naruto guess he was looking for him. Strange. I could have sworn I heard Naruto, he heard his teacher mutter to himself. Shrugging his shoulders, Iruka left the store and continued on his way. That was close, Naruto thanked whatever deity was looking out for him at the moment. Whatcha doing, Gaki? A voice suddenly spoke from behind him. Naruto tried to scream only to have his mouth covered by someone's hand. Rule number 1 about stealth, Gaki, no screaming when following someone. Kinda defeats the purpose of the whole thing, the purple-haired and scantily clad woman informed him. Observing her as low as he could, Naruto was shocked by the result. Literashi Anko, T&I Specialist, LV. Shit. Naruto cursed his luck at the moment, it really did go either way. It was easy to see that she was strong, easily way out of his league, and the fact that snuck up on him without him noticing only scared him even more. So again, whatcha doing following Yamino, Gaki? Anko repeated. Trying to find out how he keeps finding me? Naruto hesitated. He knew from experience that lying to Jonan wasn't a good idea, most knew when he was lying and often called him out on his bullshit. For her part Anko only blinked before she grinned and laughed a bit, that's it. Oh that's a good one. Seeing him glare at her Anko realized he wasn't kidding, really? Wow, you're serious aren't you? Yeah, not to bust your balls or anything, kid, but how the hell is following him around gonna get you the answer? You think he's just gonna talk about it willy-nilly? Naruto just realized he hadn't thought of that. Crap. For not thinking things through your wits and int have decreased by 1. Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah no offense, Gaki, but you suck at information gathering. There are other ways of getting information on someone other than following them. The fact that you weren't exactly being discreet allowed a few of us to see what you were doing from a mile away, she pointed out. Hell, some of us know when you're gonna do a prank. Bullshit. If that's true why don't you stop me, he called her bluff. It gives us a good laugh watching those Chunin struggle to catch you, especially when they run into a few of your traps along the way, she grinned. Besides, it's fun to see them being brought down a notch. Quite a few of them think they're tough shit just because they made Chunin. Naruto couldn't believe, and was having a hard time believing it, that some people actually liked his pranks. Seriously, most people hated him for his pranks, especially the victims. Just a heads up though, prank us, and you'll be wishing for death, if not begging for it. Got that? Her sadistic grin returned with a vengeance. One that made Naruto sweat and nod furiously. Okay, we're good then, Gaki, she patted and ruffled his head. For agreeing with Anko on not pranking her or her friends, your reputation with her has increased by 100. That's convenient, Naruto thought. I don't suppose you'll help me then. Anko merely cocked an eyebrow before placing her hands on her hips, and why would I want to help you? What's in it for me? What do you want? Naruto asked. What can you offer me? Want me to prank someone for you? Even as he said it Naruto was thinking along the lines of, nice move genius. Real smooth. Alright, but in exchange you owe me 3 pranks. No ifs or buts, and no fuss. This here's a take it or leave it deal, Gaki. What do you say? Anko offered. Knowing that it was probably as good as it was gonna get, Naruto agreed, deal. The special skill has been created through a special act. For the careful and successful exchange of services with another the active ability BARGAINING has been created. Naruto forced himself not to drop his jaw at the sudden gain of an ability before focusing once more on Anko, but can I add one thing? I don't want Iruka-sensei to know what I'm up to. Anko merely shrugged, meh, I'm cool with that. You got yourself a deal, Gaki. Wait right here while the incredibly sexy Anko Midarashi does her thing. But that Anko jumped off the building and began her pursuit of Iruka. Naruto, thinking he had time to kill, decided to look at his newly acquired skill. Bargaining LV1. 39% to next level mastering speed. See, this skill allows the user to successfully barter with others in order to acquire certain services or information. Such things include the buying and selling of items, the exchange of information, or others. The higher the level of this skill the greater the success and rewards. Note: your wisdom and reputation with individuals and their level will play a big role in the success of bargaining. Gaki, Naruto says Anko poking her head up the side of the building with a sheepish look adorned on her face, you wouldn't by chance know which way he went would ya? Naruto gave her a deadpan look before pointing in the direction Iruka was last seen. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all, he thought before going back to his guidebook. Challenges. Challenges are a set of specific tasks that are accomplished by the user. However, unlike quests, which give EXP and rewards, challenges only award experience points. Most challenges involve killing many of the same type of enemy, creating variations of a technique, mastering a set of techniques from a specific rank, etc. Other challenges are based around discovering hidden areas, hidden caches, looting enemies, traveling, increasing your reputation levels, and your own profession. Note: a list of challenges becomes available once you've reached level 15, and more will be revealed as you level up and accomplish certain tasks. However, some challenges can still be accomplished as you perform certain tasks. Be forewarned, depending on your actions, some challenges can be permanently forfeited unintentionally. Crap, Naruto hated when stuff like this happened. With him currently being at level 5, which was a load of crap in his mind, it would take him quite a while before he reached level 15. As Anko still had yet to come back, Naruto decided to look at anything else that was useful for him to learn. Maximum mastered level. Mastering a technique to its utmost level takes time and dedication. For skills at the basic level it isn't so bad, but each upgrade takes greater time and dedication, but it's very beneficial for the user. Not only will it allow one to not only spend less time preparing a technique, but it also allows you to create your own variants of the technique too. Mastering certain techniques can even add a bonus stat, unlock a hidden function, drastically reduce the cost of chakra needed, increase the strength, or the duration of it. It should be noted that not all techniques have this. Additionally, some techniques can be mastered, but variations can't be created or will be more difficult to master due to higher power and requirements needed. Keep in mind that the higher the rank of the technique, the harder and longer it is to master. However, certain variables come into play. Depending on a number of variables, the length of mastering techniques that have no rank can go either way. Mastering speed index. The rank very slow. B rank slow. C rank average. B rank fast. A rank very fast. S rank extremely fast. Titles. Titles are benefits given to individuals either through the deeds they have accomplished such as swordsmanship, due to their lineage such as being the descendant of a powerful or famous clan member, or for slaying a particular type of foe such as undead, insects, or humans. Titles, unlike perks, can be removed and replaced by the bearer at will, except in dungeons or in the middle of a fight. Some titles cannot be removed unless certain actions are performed. Initially a person is only capable of holding 3 titles, but the amount increases by 1 every 25th level. Attribute stat points. Attribute points, or AP for short, also known as stat points, are essential to any adventure as it allows them to increase their attributes, except for death. Attribute points are generally earned whenever a person levels up, however, there are items and quests that grant attribute points as well. Once applied, attribute points cannot be readjusted, so be cautious and think before applying them. Ordinary perks and ordinary perk points. To begin, ordinary perks are benefits the holder of them has that increase their overall capabilities. Most perks are something that the person is born with, such as being naturally flexible, intelligent or talented. A person's lineage is generally considered a perk. Ordinary perks are capable of changing over time, but can change for the better or for worse. Perks, despite their boons, can also be lost depending on circumstances. Similar to attribute points, ordinary perk points, or OP for short, are used to gain ordinary perks once a certain amount of OP has been gained. However, unlike ordinary AP, only 1 OP is gained every 15th level up where the OP list becomes available, and sometimes when completing certain high-level quests, the higher the quest rank the greater chance of gaining OP. In addition, OP can also be used to enhance existing ordinary perks, too, the maximum level being 5. Special perks and special perk points. Special perks are perks that are usually unique to the user, such as bloodline limits like the Sharingan, Byakugan, or powerful passive abilities like the Gamer, Sun Pyromancer, Stormborn, or Watermaster. Special perks allow users to use blood-related techniques or use common techniques in ways no one else but them can. Much like ordinary perks, special perks can change over time and be lost depending on circumstances. Similar to attribute points, special perk points, or SPP for short, are used to gain special perks, certain bloodline limits excluded, once a certain amount of SPP has been gained. However, unlike ordinary AP, only 1 SPP is gained every 30th level up where the SPP list becomes available, and sometimes when completing certain high-level quests, the higher the quest rank the greater chance of gaining SPP. In addition, SPP can also be used to enhance certain special perks too, the maximum level being 5. Naruto was interrupted from his thoughts as a series of shuriken came sailing at him. Though he managed to dodge a few of them, several still managed to cut his clothes and gave him a few cuts. It didn't stop there, however, as Naruto soon felt the unforgiving feel of cold iron pressed against his neck, its presence threatening to slice and spill his blood all over him and the roof he was on. Lesson number 2 about stealth, Gaki. Always be aware of your surroundings. You never know when someone else is sneaking up on you while you do the same. The familiar voice of Anko rang in his ears before he felt the kunai being removed. Naruto had realized then and there that it was twice that Anko could have killed him if she so wished. Twice she could have killed him without him realizing it. Naruto wasn't as dumb as many thought him to be. He knew the Jonin were skilled, as evidenced when they managed to catch him in the past, but if this was the skill of a Jonin, it made him realize that as he was in need of some serious grinding. Oh, and the reason why Yamino was able to find you is because he's one of the few sensors we have, Anko informed him. Quest completed. How does he bloody do it? Main quest. Learn how Yamino Iruka manages to catch you every time you've pulled a prank. Accomplished. Side quest. Don't let Iruka figure out what you're doing. Accomplished. Total rewards earned. 350 X plus 350 10% equals 385 X. Naruto had to stop himself from jumping up and down at the completion of the quest. Sure, he hadn't gained a level yet, but he was halfway there. You really need to stop spacing out like that, Gaki. It's creepy, even for me, Naruto heard Anko say, and before he could ask her what a sensor ninja was, the kunoichi disappeared in a whirl of leaves. never knowing that Anko knew his class mentor was a censor the entire time. As he prepared to leave, Naruto noticed where Anko once stood was a kunai with a message penned to him. "Don't forget, Gaki, you owe me 3 pranks. If you try to weasel your way out, well, you'll see." Naruto gulped before noticing another line, "P.S. This message will self-destruct in 20 seconds." What? Naruto screamed, but was too late to evade the explosion of smoke that enveloped him. When the clouds finally cleared, Naruto found himself covered head to toe in girly pink paint. When he finally managed to get home, after passing by a still laughing landlord, Naruto began washing the substance off him. Upon finishing, the young ninja in training's red-hot temper took hold the moment he spotted the characters for Anko's little bitch marked on his face. This means war. Nobody pranks the prank king and gets away with it, damn it. Naruto vowed, all the while not knowing that Anko heard every word. "Challenge accepted, Gaki," she smirked. "Suu," bored, Naruto sighed as Iruka droned one of his infamously lengthy lectures. Naruto was certain they could cure a severe case of insomnia. Compared to what happened during the weekend, which was something Naruto was slowly coming to accept, this looked even more boring than usual. 6 days had passed since Naruto had met both Anko and discovered his new if not weird as hell ability. During that time frame, Naruto had decided to grind much of the skills he currently had as quickly as possible. Which, unfortunately, was easier said than done. Despite their mastering speed rank, combat skills such as Taijutsu and Kunai Jutsu leveled up more quickly in actual combat. Other skills such as the observability, which was now at level 4, leveled up just as quickly in any given situation. Naruto's basic Academy Taijutsu and basic Shuriken Jutsu and Kunijutsu, despite it taking him 6 days, had finally been mastered. The only problem was finding the scrolls to increase them further. It was a school week, and while he could ditch class to find the advanced scroll set, Iruka was starting to become much less lenient for tardiness and those who dozed off in class. Naruto guessed it was because this was their last year. By the time school ended, the shinobi in training spent much of his time preparing himself for his first dungeon. His browsing of the gamer functions showed that his was high enough for him to enter dungeons. However, tempted as he was to go into a dungeon at the time, his current equipment and stats left much to be desired. Naruto needed to increase his stats, and he needed money for better equipment. Thanks to a few daily quests, low experience, and imperceptible pay, but it stacked up in the end, and one of the pranks he owed Anko, his cash reserve, and a few of those stats had gone up. Apparently a Chunin had bragged about how he had tamed the snake charmer of Konoha. Naruto didn't know why the Takebetsu Jonin decided to PG-13 it, he knew what sex was. And while Anko did in fact sleep with him, the easy admittance took Naruto by surprise. The man had done such a bad job that she had thrown him out of her apartment with barely anything to cover his dignity. Anko soon regretted not being harsher. The Chunin had a silver tongue and was very convincing when it came to, in Anko's own words, spouting horrible bullshit. Needless to say, the snake mistress decided he deserved his due diligence and ordered Naruto to prank him and prank him hard. If the prank was good, and it had been in her humble opinion, Anko would give him a decent pittance. For days Naruto followed the man like a shadow until he managed to find out that the Chunin was going on a date with an attractive woman at a civilian hotspot. The stroke of luck made it all the easier. Unless a ninja was present, rarely did anyone in a non-shinobi restaurant notice him in a henge. Through careful planning and ingenuity on his part, Naruto had managed to make the man look like a fool. Instead of drinking water, the man drank diluted vinegar, tasteless laxatives, and ghost pepper hot sauce. Naruto counted himself lucky that the cups they served were dark-colored. Not that he would notice since he was too focused on his date. The man ended up burning his whole mouth, spitting the contents onto his date, a good portion hitting her eyes and blinding her in the process, and shitting himself for everyone to see. By the end of the night, the man not only ruined his reputation and pants, but Naruto was pretty sure he wouldn't be going on dates for a long while. Heck, Anko told him that the man wasn't allowed back at the restaurant again. The only downside was that the restaurant was one of her friend's favorite places and it would be closed for cleaning for the next few days or so to get rid of the smell. On the plus side, doing what he did during that week managed to increase stats. His strength and dexterity had gone up by a decent amount, while his intelligence and wisdom only went up by 2 each. It wasn't much, but it was better than nothing. And Vit stayed the same, as they were already pretty high. Okay, what should I increase? Naruto pondered, barely listening to Iruka. And Vit are already pretty high, and the perks will take care of me. Luck can be left alone because of that perk. Guess that leaves Dex, STR, Int, Cha, and Whis. Luckily for him, Dex and STR could be increased through physical training, something Naruto enjoyed doing, and pretty quickly due to the amount of stamina he had. Cha was his lowest attribute, but not all that crucial in his opinion. If anything, he could probably increase it by coming up with better lies and practicing intimidation. Wis and int were the opposite, regrettably. The latter was increased by performing smart decisions and by studying books, while the former, while similar, put greater emphasis on smart decisions and wise actions. Int it is then, Naruto nodded and placed all his AP into his int. The action resulted in the meager number 13 to increase to a decent 30, status window. Status window. Name? Uzumaki Naruto. Job, Academy student. Level? 5 next level. 2375 2800. HP? 1925. CP? 3275. STR? 14. Bit? 57. End? 81. Dex? 22. Int? 30. Wis? 10. Ta? 6. Luck? F? 15. Attribute points? 0. Naruto smirked at the improved numbers. With them he felt more comfortable entering a dungeon now. However, he was so focused on the screen that he was caught off guard by what came next. Naruto! Iruka shouted so loudly and suddenly at the blonde that he fell out of his seat. Uzo? Naruto cursed as he got back up, sending a small glare at Iruka in the process. What the hell was that for, Iruka-sensei? Language? And that was for daydreaming instead of paying attention in class, the academy instructor said. Was not. He lied. Oh, really? Then you wouldn't mind telling me what I was talking about? Iruka called him out. Caught off guard, Naruto tried to recall what today's lesson was about and hoped he was right when he answered, "Oh, we were talking about the Shodai." Iruka still frowned, right, but what exactly about the Shodai was I talking about? That Naruto had no answer. That's what I thought. I let it go this time, but pay better attention, Iruka told him and then proceeded to go back to his lesson. Your luck managed to hold out to help you avoid detention. Phew, Naruto was relieved at avoiding that mess. The last thing he needed was detention on a Friday or during the weekend. Those sucked. Naruto seriously had no idea why they were learning history. Sure, it was sometimes cool learning about who did what in the past, but each time Naruto thought, how the hell is this gonna help me become a better ninja and win a fight? Looking at the clock, Naruto saw that they only had 5 more minutes to go in history before their last class of the day, dummy training, began. To kill the boredom, he began looking around the classroom. Observe, he muttered. Status window. Name? Haruno Sakura. Job? Academy student. Level? 8 next level, 2865 5400. HP? 200. CP? 250. STR? 5. Bit? 8. End? 10. Dex? 15. Int? 56. Wis? 31. Ja? 15. Luck? 15. F? 10. Description: Haruno Sakura comes from a civilian family but is a very smart and talented academy student due to her near photographic memory and dedication. However, despite her intelligence, her physical conditioning is considered below average and her mindset is ill-suited for a kunoichi in training. In addition, she possesses a short temper and can be easily riled up depending on the situation. She, like many of the girls in her class, has a crush on Uchiha Sasuke. Currently has the affections of one Uzumaki Naruto, but has no intention of reciprocating them and finds him annoying. Man, Naruto whined at that last part. The blonde really had no idea why Sakura and the rest of the girls found Sasuke so appealing. Sure, he was a decent looking guy, something that he would ever admit it out loud though, but Naruto still didn't get why he got so much attention. Looking at him with his observe, Naruto was left shocked at what he saw. Status window. Name, Uchiha Sasuke. Job, Academy student. Level, 11 next level, 2939 8800. HP, 650. CP, 725. STR, 19. Bit, 26. End, 29. Dex, 29. Int, 32. Wis, 23. Ta, 21. Luck, 10. F, 20. Description: Uchiha Sasuke comes from the famous Uchiha clan, one of Konoha's founding clans, and formerly one of the most powerful clans in the world. After the massacre of his family in one night, Sasuke became Konoha's last Uchiha. From that day on, Sasuke's personality changed drastically, throwing himself into his training and began closing himself off from others, becoming a lone wolf. Considered a prodigy by many like his brother before, Sasuke earning the title of Rookie of the Year is pretty much a given. Damn, Naruto felt sorry for Sasuke. Having a loving family and then having it taken away from you, Naruto didn't. What was worse, growing up without a family, no memories of them, not knowing you were loved, or growing up with one, only to lose all of them, going back home expecting to see them only to realize that they were gone and never coming back. It still didn't give Sasuke the right to be a jerk, but Naruto understood him a little better. Okay, fine, Sakura-chan and Sasuke team were always at the top of the class. Maybe it's just a coincidence, Naruto thought before looking at his other classmates. Status window. Name: Inyazuka Kiba. Job: Academy student. Level: 8 next level. 4776 5400. HP: 550. CP: 575. STR: 20. Bit: 22. End: 23. Dex: 33. Int: 14. Wis: 9. Ta: 12. Luck: 17. F: 16. Description: Inyazuka Kiba comes from a clan that is renowned for their use of ninken and unique fighting style in combat. Though young and hot-headed and not the sharpest tool in the shed at times, Kiba is one of the best in Taijutsu, outmatched only by Sasuke, but is still one of the lower-ranking students in academics. Status window. Name: Akamaru. Job: Ninken, ninja dog. Level: 4 next level. 249 2100s. HP: 175. CP: 150. STR: 3. Bit: 7. End: 6. Dex: 16. Int: 5. Wis: 5. Ta: 3. Luck: 14. F: 0. Description: a 2-year-old ninja dog and Kiba's partner. Though young and appearing like a normal puppy, Akamaru is quite intelligent for his age. Status window. Name: Yamanaka Ino. Job: Academy student. Level: 8 next level. 3657 5400. HP: 275. CP: 400. STR: 6. Bit: 11. End: 16. Dex: 25. Int: 39. Wis: 27. Ta: 26. Luck: 13. F: 10. Description: though not as intelligent as her rival, Sakura, Ino is still one of the top students at the academy. Ino is talented in her clan's teachings, but due to her attitude and infatuation with Sasuke, she isn't as far or as proficient as she should be. Ino is notorious for her gossip and fashion sense. Very little happens in the academy that she doesn't know about. Status window. Name: Hyuga Hinata. Job: Academy student. Level: 7 next level. 1490 4500. HP: 350. CP: 450. STR: 7. Bit: 14. End: 18. Dex: 25. Int: 37. Wis: 30. Ja: 11. Luck: 9. F: 10. Description: Hinata is a very kind but equally shy young girl who comes from not only one of Konoha's 4 noble clans, but also one of the most powerful clans in the world. Despite being trained in the art of the gentle fist at a young age, a renowned and deadly taijutsu, Hinata's skill is lacking for reasons currently unknown. While not one of the best students in terms of skill, Hinata is one of the more intelligent and hard-working ones. While most of the girls in her class are infatuated with Sasuke, Hinata is attracted to someone else. Her love for cinnamon rolls is said to rival Uzumaki Naruto's love for ramen. You gotta be kidding me, Naruto, ignoring the pop-up saying his observe increased to level 5, wanted to weep at the unfairness of it all. It was like someone slapping him in the face. As he continued to look, Naruto realized that virtually everyone in his entire class excluding Kiba's pet were 3 or 4 levels ahead of him. He was the lowest level student. Alright, that concludes today's history lesson. Head on out to the practice field and do your warm-ups, Iruka announced much to everyone's excitement. Practice field training was easily one of the more popular lessons at the academy. Following a decent 10-minute warm-up, Iruka told everyone to line up. Alright, now before we begin physical training, I've decided to teach you a neat little trick. Today, I'm going to teach you all how to balance a leaf on your forehead. The silence that soon followed was enough for many to hear a pin dropping 2 blocks over. Most of the students were left flabbergasted, many of their faces reflecting their emotions. You're kidding, right? What the hell kinda training is that? Kiba asked Akamaru, agreeing with his master. Language? Iruka chastised before taking a leaf, placing it on his forehead, and to the surprise of everyone it didn't fall off. Did I forget to mention that you'll be keeping it there with only your chakra? At the awe of the display, Iruka smirked. The act of doing this has been a long-standing tradition at the academy when the method was first introduced. Tell the students about a training exercise they thought was lame and then make it look cool and leave them dumbfounded. Jonan did it to their new team all the time. Now the concept is simple. What you do is focus your chakra to your forehead and onto the leaf to make it stick. Too little, and the leaf will fall off, too much, and the leaf will be blown away, Iruka explained as he began giving each of the students a leaf. Now don't be surprised if some of you don't get this right away. It takes a while to get the hang of it. Begin. One by one the students began the exercise, while Iruka inwardly smirked at the cleverness of it all. It was true that this exercise was a way to teach students how to control their chakra more effectively. However, the true purpose of the exercise was actually to hone the individual's concentration and to keep their mind from becoming distracted. Many of the teachers told students that those who worked hard on this ability to concentrate can become excellent shinobi. The last part was more or less a white lie really, and more so of a motivator for students to give them confidence and strive for excellence. Though it sometimes backfired as some students had higher levels of chakra and couldn't accomplish it as fast as others. Looking around, Iruka wasn't surprised to see Ino, Sakura and Hinata having little to no trouble with the technique. Both Ino and Hinata came from clans where chakra control was crucial, more so from the Hyuga clan, while Sakura had a natural talent for chakra control based off of her demonstrations of the basic Academy 3. Though Iruka suspected that her low levels of chakra also played a factor. They were still slightly higher than a regular civilian due to her father being a former genin, but still low nonetheless. Looking past them, Iruka saw that Shino and Sasuke, while not as good as the girls, were making some good progress. Sasuke was a prodigy, so it came as no surprise. Shino, he heard, took to his clan's techniques like a fish took to water, so like Sasuke, the boy could be considered a prodigy in his own right. He was a less known one, but a prodigy nonetheless. When Iruka saw Kiba, Shikamaru, Choji, and Naruto attempting it, he was not surprised that they weren't faring that well compared to the others. Shikamaru he saw wasn't really trying and looked like he wanted to quit. Choji he saw try for a bit before he adopted his friend's method, while Kiba looked constipated. Naruto, surprisingly, looked as though he was having the easiest time of the four. It wasn't great and crystal clear it would take him a while to master, but he was still better than the others, if only by a little. Iruka merely sighed at those four. The four of them were easily the lower end tier students for good reasons. Shikamaru barely put any effort into anything except napping and cloud watching. Choji was like Shikamaru only with more emphasis on food, while Naruto and Kiba were just dense. It was harsh, but true. In terms of academics they were the lowest students and were only slightly above average in practical, Kiba more so due to his clan training. Between them most of the other students fared either well or not so well. While Iruka continued to observe his students, a certain blonde prankster was snickering at the choice he made earlier. Good thing I put those APs in my int, Naruto wanted to cackle out loud. While Naruto didn't take into account that they'd be learning a chakra control exercise today, he was glad with his choice. His current perks made it so chakra control skills would be 40% slower to learn than others. Even with his boost in int, Naruto knew that this still wasn't going to go as smoothly as he wanted. Skills like chakra control, genjutsu and medical ninjutsu were all about finesse than brute force, which was something he lacked. To properly use and learn those types of skills, he learned that his int should be at least 80% equal to his current int, and Naruto's current int was barely even 60% equal, which meant he would be struggling. Damn it. Naruto cursed as the leaf fell off his head once more. Great as his perks were for End and Vit, they didn't do him any favors for this exercise. His chakra control sucked, as the leaf would either slip or be blown off his head. The special skill has been created through a special act. By training to control your chakra you have learned the active ability Leaf Concentration Practice Method has been created. Leaf Concentration Practice Method ER rank. LV1. 14% to next level mastering speed. D. The most basic form of chakra control methods, this skill allows the user to better control their chakra. Unlike other skills, chakra control skills only offer perks and boons upon completion. Uses 20 CP per minute. Quest alert. Better control. Main quest. Level up the Leaf Concentration Practice Method by 2 by the end of the day. Side quest. Bring the Leaf Concentration Practice Method all the way up to level 5 or more by midnight. Main quest completion. 350 EXP. Side quest completion. 150 EXP plus 1 int. Failure. 100 EXP. Accept. Yes, no. Not gonna be easy, but it's one step closer to leveling up. Naruto accepted the quest. The additional 500 EXP was a great welcome in his mind, since it would be more than enough for him to level up and it would help with his chakra control, which was another plus. Naruto continued to complete the exercise for an hour before Iruka told them to stop what they were doing. Naruto groaned as he only managed to bring it up to level 2, it was definitely harder than it looked. Alright, everyone grab a kunai and shuriken set. You have 20 minutes to practice before the accuracy test starts, he announced while some of the students groaned. Crap. Naruto realized that with all the grinding he had been doing during the weekend he completely forgot about the test. Okay, calm down. I leveled up my basic shuriken and kunai techniques to the max, he recalled. Body loved gamer's mind. Opening up his skill list window, Naruto took a gander at the technique. Basic Shuriken Jutsu and Kunai Jutsu, Basic Shuriken Techniques and Kunai Techniques, D rank. LVMAX Skill Modifier. STRE, Dex DA Basic, an essential skill that all ninja should know if they wish to call themselves true ninja. This skill allows the user to properly wield and throw both shuriken and kunai during and outside of combat. While most ninja master only the basic forms of these aspects, some clans or ninja are known to utilize more advanced forms. Increases power of shuriken and kunai by 15% plus, STR 0.25, during combat. Increases accuracy when thrown during combat by 35% plus, Dex 0.5. Increases accuracy when thrown outside of combat by 65% plus, Dex 0.5. Skill Modifier. What's that? Naruto didn't recall seeing that tidbit of information on that skill before. He didn't have to wait long as his answer popped up seconds later. Skills. Skills are crucial to any adventure, as without them life wouldn't be quite as easy. Skills can vary in terms of power and intended use, some are quite obvious, while others you must rely on your imagination. Skill Item Modifier. Much like attributes, skill item modifiers play a critical role when it comes to helping an adventure. This is especially so when it comes to the effectiveness and power of a skill or item used. However, not all skills or items, usually the lowest tier ones, have modifiers. In most cases, the higher the rank the likelier a modifier will be present. Some modifiers increase over time when said skill or item is upgraded or if another item upgrades it instead. And, in addition, some have more than one modifier. Modifiers are based on both a person's attributes and the ranking of the modifier. There are 6 skill modifier ranks in total. E.S. S. Rank Modifier, Attribute 3. A rank modifier, Attribute 2. B rank modifier, Attribute 1.5. C. Rank modifier, Attribute 1. B. Rank modifier, Attribute 0.50. B. Rank modifier, Attribute 0.25. Talk about convenience, it certainly simplified things for him. Using the calculator of his ability, Naruto crunched the numbers and realized that with his current dex amount and the skill being at maximum and the bonus that granted, it allowed him to hit targets with 76% accuracy. Not the greatest, but not bad. Quest alert. Ready, aim, fire. Main quest, score at least 70% on the accuracy test. Side quest. Score 80% or higher on the accuracy test. Second side quest. Score 90% or higher on the accuracy test. Hidden quest. Main quest completion, 250 EXP. Side quest completion. 150 EXP plus 100, Reputation Iruka. Second side quest completion. 100 EXP, acquire intermediate shuriken jutsu and kunijutsu skill book. Hidden quest, failure, 100 EXP, minus 25 Reputation Iruka. Thanks for watching this video. Part 1 is over. If you really enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below and turn on that bell notification. And also check out the playlist that I have created and enjoy. Link is in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.